is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your money and your life and your relationships and your work, your mental health, everything. Give us a shout. The lines are wide open, 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined here by, I'm going to call you my good friend, George Camel.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. There's a lot of hesitation. It worried me there for a second.
I was going to tell the truth, and then I forgot the Venmo you sent me, and I told you I'd do it.
I paid John off to be nice to me today.
And I'm grateful for it.
Well, John, we're back by unpopular demand.
Exactly. Dozens called and said, we'd love you all to be on. And so they had us back. 888-825-5225. George, you have been running and gunning for a few months. Walk us through it. What have you been doing?
It's been a little while. We hustled on the Fine Print podcast, which was a lot of fun, and we've got a lot of video shoots and curriculums and things that we're getting off the ground here at Ramsey. And a lot of people don't know this, John. Our high school curriculum in personal finance is in 48% of high schools in America.
1 out of 2.
That's amazing. Because a lot of people go, man, I wish I learned this stuff when I was in school, John. I wouldn't have made these mistakes in my 20s and 30s and 40s. And so it's really cool to see the impact our team is having over in Ramsey Education. And they updated it with you in it. And we had a lot of fun.
Yes, exactly.
So if you're a high schooler, tune in.
And I love, man, I don't want to be dismissive. I'm a Pythagorean theorem fan. Right?
Oh, no.
But my middle school son is going through it, and I thought, you know what you really should be learning right now as I was doing taxes? As I was doing taxes. Man, it'd be great if they had a class on what taxes were and why they work and how to do them. They're not complicated, especially if you have a great program to get through them. But,
no,
man, the Pythagorean theorem is wearing me out. I'm trying to watch my son drown.
Well, they taught us how to play hot cross buns on a recorder, but they didn't teach us what deductions and withholdings were.
I'm just going to stop you right there. Hot cross buns in the recorder.
That's the only song people can play.
I can still play that song.
It's 3 notes.
Don't take away my musical prowess.
We're not going to do that on the show today, but what we will do is help you with all of your questions around money, boundaries, relationships, mental health.
888-825-5225. All right, let's stop rambling. People are going to get frustrated with us and shut us off. Let's go to Julie in the Big D, Dallas, Texas. What's up, Julie?
Hi, I'm doing well. I wanted to ask you about refinancing a mortgage.
Bring it on. What's up?
So we currently have an FHA mortgage. We owe about $70,000. I just actually spoke to Churchill this morning to see if refinancing is a good idea, and they're saying after closing costs it'd be like $74,000. But at the rate we're paying it off, I just don't know if building in those closing costs are a good idea for us, or if it's worth it. Because we've been paying off about $20,000 to $25,000 a year so far on the mortgage.
That's awesome. Okay, so what's the rate now, and what would it go to? And is it a 30 to a 15?
We're on a 30 right now. If we go to the 15-year, it would be 3.375.
Okay. And what's it at right now?
And right now it's at 3.625.
Okay. Not a major jump there in interest rate. So far it's not super tantalizing to do the refi.
But you're knocking off half of the mortgage, the life of the mortgage.
But she's saying they're going to pay it off in 2 years anyways.
That's my question. Yeah, Julie, how long are you planning on
2-3 years?
Dating this mortgage?
We're thinking probably 3. We're having our first child later this year too.
Congrats.
So I don't know how finances are going to change at that point as well. So there's a lot of external factors here.
Are you out of debt?
Let me run this by you too. We currently pay escrow because it's FHA, and there's also PMI that we can't get rid of.
Yeah.
So that would help because we can save the insurance and taxes ourselves.
How much other debt do you have?
Save on the escrow. We have no debt.
0.
This is the only debt we have.
Well, I mean, we can't do the math on air, but I would run all these numbers, and it's, obviously your payment's going up because of the 15-year, but is that still going to be within your 25% of your take-home pay?
Yes, it would actually drop it a little bit overall.
Because you're losing some of the costs as well, moving to a conventional loan.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
This is, I mean, it may be splitting hairs here because you're not gaining a ton on the interest rate side. So I would run kind of a break-even analysis and go, okay, are we going to make this up? Are we going to make the $4,000 gap with the closing costs up within that 3 years? And if it is the case, if it's, hey, we're going to make this up, we're going to ROI this thing in a year and a half, 2 years, then you can go ahead and do it.
And Julie, let me tell you this. I had it's very similar thing right before the turn of the year, and I sat down with Churchill and did a very similar thing. And here's what I loved about my time with them. They told me at the outset, we will not take your business if it's not a good move for you. So we will tell you we don't think this is a good move. And so I would call your Churchill person back and say, Deloney, and I ended up doing it. They said, we think this is a great move for you. Here's why. They walked me through why it was a good move. But I love the fact that they said at the outset, we're not going to take your money just to take your money if it's going to end up hurting your family. We don't want your business if it's going to be at the detriment of your home. And so call them and ask them, is this ultimately a good decision for our family? And then the follow-up question is, would you do this if you were in a similar situation? And I have found them to be uber trustworthy. And I've trusted my own family and our own situation with the refi in the exact same situation. So I think it's worth it. And I don't plan on having my mortgage for more than a couple more years. So I think it's definitely worth asking that hard question.
And let them know, hey, we're going to pay this off at this point, 2.5, 3 years. So is this going to be worth it? If you're going to be in there for another 10 years, it would absolutely be worth it. But because you guys are on this timeline to pay it off, we generally just say, hey, just keep staying the course. Put as much extra on as you can on there because the interest rate's not going to make that much of a difference.
Do you have a matrix, George, for somebody who is just trying to decide whether they're going to pay it off, not pay it off?
I mean, if you look at your own
matrix.
budget and you go, hey, if we're going to pay this thing off in 2 years, generally it's not worth refinancing unless you're dropping a significant rate, which in this case, I mean, we're talking 0.3.
Yeah.
If it was a full percentage point, we're going, okay, this is adding up.
Yeah.
Even over the course of a year, we're going to save thousands and thousands of dollars. And she's saving some because of those FHA loans. They've got a lot of fees baked into it, like she's talking about with that PMI. And so to have that off your back, saving you a few $100 a month, well, that compounds pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Over the course of a year or two.
My default is I like any move that's going to drop off half of the life of the loan and my monthly payment's going to stay the same. It feels like a win.
Yeah.
But again, I think in their picture they're going to pay it off in 2 years, and that new baby is always that's always a variable that's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah. But they have the money for it either way.
When's a big absolute no-no? Just walk away from the refi table.
I mean, if we're talking it's going to cost you $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 and it's going to take years and years and years to ROI that thing, I'm going no. Refining from a 30 to a 15 just to feel good about yourself and do the Ramsey plan, that doesn't always make sense.
Okay. Because it costs you too much to make the move?
Because it costs you too much to ROI on that fast enough. So it's not there's no clear-cut thing. You got to look at the numbers, do a break-even analysis on it, and go, can I recoup my investment in this, which is your closing costs, fast enough to make this worth it?
Fantastic. 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. It's The Ramsey Show. We'll be right back.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Triple 825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. Let's go out to Douglas in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, Douglas, what's going on?
Hey, you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you great. What's going on, man?
Hey, man. I just found you guys not long ago, and I had a question. I'm a company driver right now, a CDL driver. I'm wanting to make a switch to owner-operator someday, and I was curious, should I not pay off my consumer debt first, then buy truck cash, or pay off my consumer debt and my mortgage, and then buy truck cash?
Well, either way, I want you to pay cash for the truck. Now let's talk about the consumer debt. What do you have in consumer debt?
So I just sold my car. Like I said, I just found you guys some real.
You're getting serious about it, man.
Yes, I'm a huge car guy, and I put a lot of money in that car, but I sold it, paid off my truck too.
Wow.
So I got some student loans, one credit card, and mortgage, and that's about it.
So what's your non-mortgage debt total?
Last time I added it up, it's about $56,000.
86?
56.
56. Okay, what's your income?
Right now, I am making about $65,000, but I'm leaving this job next week to go to another job to increase about $30,000
Wow.
a year income.
So you're going to go up to about 95?
Yep.
Douglas, way to
Great,
go, man.
That's a huge jump. That's going to help you
Yeah,
pay
I
off this
appreciate
debt.
How much do you owe on your mortgage?
$145.
$145.
Well, if I'm in your shoes, I'm using this income to my benefit. I'm going to keep living how I've been living, keep living like you're broke, and get rid of this $56,000 in debt and get your emergency fund in place, and then I'd be saving up to pay cash for that truck.
Before paying off the mortgage.
Yeah, I don't think that you have any reason to have to pay off the mortgage before starting this business. That's not part of it. But I do want this consumer debt out of your life because, number one, it's going to free up a whole bunch of money for you to pay cash for that truck, and it's going to put a lot less stress on you as you try to launch out on your own.
How much is it?
Yeah, exactly.
How much is your own truck in your area?
For a decent truck, you about $40,000.
About 40. Okay. So you got a 2.5, 3 year journey here, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at. I wanted to be debt free, not including the mortgage, by 30. I'm 27 now.
Oh, you'll be debt free way sooner than that. I think you can probably own this truck by then too, free and clear if you get after it.
Yeah.
I love your heart, man, and man, congratulations on busting it and getting out of there.
That's big. I love the heart of wanting to start out on your own, and when you do that with no payments, it changes everything.
And I love that he said, "I'm a car guy, and I'm selling my cars." That means I'm shifting my identity from depreciating assets to, I guess I can't say that anymore because car values refuse
Now
to
cars
go down.
are appreciating assets.
They're appreciating assets. But I'm a car guy,
They're still
too.
toys. They're still
I'm a
toys.
free guy, and that's an identity that's worth shifting for. Let's go out to Andrew in Huntsville, Alabama. What's up, brother Andrew? How we doing?
Hi. I'm a engineering student. I'm a senior right now, and I graduate in May. And I've already got a job lined up for after school. It'll be a salary position making about $45,000, and a little more than 45. But I'm wondering, I'm looking at probably getting married within 5 years or so and doing some other things. I'm wondering what can I do to try to springboard and build wealth quickly when I'm young, besides just like an IRA and maybe getting another second job or something.
Let me rephrase that. How do I get rich quick? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. What can I do to, not necessarily quick, but that would, I want to make sure that I do the things I need to do now to be where I want to be when I'm, 40. And I know that I can be prepared for retirement, and I've budgeted out, taking $6,000 out every year for maxing out my IRA. But I would like to try to find something I can do to make a kind of a alternate stream of income to be able to enjoy while I'm young, like, through raising a family and things like that.
Okay.
So I was wondering if y'all had any advice on that.
Well, I've heard you could draw art pictures on your computer and sell them for millions.
He's talking about NFTs. Don't listen to him, Andrew.
Millions.
Don't listen to him.
And I heard also you could get imaginary zeros and ones pictures and sell them in imaginary places on the internet and
That's
get
true.
rich.
If you're selling them, it might be a good business. But Andrew, here's what I hear you saying. I want to live life on my terms, and I don't want to wait till retirement to do it. And I love that spirit.
Right.
and I think you can get there. But I think you've got to have a bigger picture than just how do I invest like a crazy person and make some money quick. I want you to think bigger than that and go, how do I invest in myself? How do I set up my family for success? Do you have any debt right now?
I have about $9,500 in student loan debt.
And that's it? No car payments, no credit cards?
No car payment. I just paid off my car a couple months ago.
Awesome. So here's what I want you to do. If you walk through these baby steps, if you graduate and you pay off this $9,500 really fast and you save up 3 to 6 months of expenses, which you're going to be able to do pretty quickly when you don't have any debt and you're making $45,000, $50,000, then I want you to start investing 15% of your income into retirement. So that will look like if you've got a 401k at work, I want you to invest into the match. Beyond that, you can invest into that Roth IRA. And then back to the 401k if they have one at work. Once you hit that 15%, you might want to save up for a house, right?
Right.
So that's got to be part of this equation. We can't just take every dime we can and throw it into investments. We have other pieces of our life that we have to pay attention to. And if you're talking about, wanting to be married in 5 years, are you dating someone, or is this just kind of aspirational, hey, I'd like to be married in 5 years?
I am dating someone. I've been dating for about 17 months now. And I mean, I wouldn't be dating them if I didn't think it was possible in 5 years, or in a couple of years, however long.
So you're feeling good about this relationship?
I want to prepare for that. Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this. What kind of engineer are you?
I have a mechanical, electrical, engineering technology degree.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I'll be taking a job as a automotive design engineer with a company here locally.
Was that the first option you received?
Well, no, not necessarily, but I've worked there, or I've worked kind of training up through here since my senior year of high school, and they have trained me on several different things to step into this design. I'll be stepping into pretty much the senior design engineer position, and then within 3 years have another evaluation where they would evaluate my kind of contribution, and I would be able to have a sharing of the profits of certain jobs, like a percentage-based sharing. So it would be a significant pay increase.
I want you to be eyes wide open. You have a relationship with this company, and you've been with them since you were young. And when that happens, especially when we're young, we have an affinity for them. But sometimes that familiarity can cost us tens and 20s and 30s of thousands of dollars. And so $40,000 for I just have too many students I've worked with and know who have left college with engineering degrees that are making $85,000 first job. And then 2 years in, they're at $120,000. And then they're at equity stake when they make part. So I know that you know this group, and I know it's local, and you're going to be able to hang out in the old places and talk to the old high school buddies. But I want you to be highly intentional about your trajectory. One of the things we say here often is your greatest wealth building tool, your fastest way to get ahead is to make a great salary, not to come up with some get-rich-quick scheme. And I was kidding about NFTs, and I was kidding about Bitcoins and buying imaginary things in imaginary universes. I want you to be really intentional about your salary, okay, and what your value is, what you're worth. And, of course, you never go to a place that's going to kill you, that you hate, to make more money. But, man, I also say you don't stay at a place that makes you feel comfortable, especially when you're young and you're supposed to be grinding it out in these years for half of your market value, for a third of your market value, right? So be super intentional about that salary. If they're going to give you a track, make sure you got it in writing, that this is the plan, because I've heard too many, in a couple years, we're really going to reimagine this or reevaluate this, and a couple years goes by real fast and there's not a lot of reimagination.
Stay the course, man. You can do this, and I want you to have a paid-for house, and then you can get into real estate investments and create that passive income. You're so young. You got your whole life ahead of you. Be patient. Stay the course.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
Triple 8-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined here by my good friend, as promised, George Camel. We're taking your calls on money, life, relationships, work, all of it. 888-825-5225. All right, George, this is a conversation for you, and you can help out me, the old man.
I will help you.
Even though we're basically the same age.
Not true.
TikTok faces an investigation into its impact on young people's mental health. Coalition of state attorneys from California, Florida. Look at California and Florida get on the same team. Look at this.
Maybe something good is happening.
The world's coming together. Kentucky, California and Florida and Kentucky, same page. I'm calling this a win already. And more is investigating TikTok for its potential effect on young people's mental and physical health. Group of AGs is looking to see the way TikTok designs, operates, and markets its platform has a negative effect on children, teens, and young adults' health, according to a press release by the AG of Massachusetts. So a couple of things that I find troubling about TikTok. And again, me ranting about social media is no big news, but this is more personal for me. I have a middle schooler, and he came home and was talking about, what is this TikTok thing? Because, of course, he lives in the 14th century because he lives in our house, and all of his classmates are on TikTok. And
does he just have an abacus he plays with at home? That's what I'm picturing at the Deloney household.
He has a stick and a small stone, and that's pretty much his toys. And I said, what are some things your friends tell you about? And so he gave us the name of somebody on TikTok, a TikTok star. And so my wife and I pull it up. And it was, again, my entire show is about relationships and sexuality and intimacy. I am far from an old-fashioned prude, right? What I saw on that was a very young kid, super provocative, super. It was just highly. It reminded me of my time working with sexually abused kids. It was highly sexually charged up, and it was really young kids doing these dances and whatever. And it wasn't just it's fun, hilarious TikTok dances, which I've seen. I've been a part of those. This is something totally different. And my initial thought was, I don't want my kids exposed to this, and I don't want my kids longing to become the topic of conversation. And I started to ask myself, what is the trajectory here for this product, for TikTok? And I realized that it's different. So, remember Saturday morning cartoons? We had those back in the dinosaur era.
That's the only thing we have in common, age-wise.
Age-wise.
We both had cartoons.
They had these shiny cereals and cool toys and things like that. That they had, whiz bang and lots of shiny moments so that kids would want to buy those. But the whole object of those commercials was to get your kids to tell your parents, that's what I want. They still had to loop back to the parents. And this feels new because what this is doing is going directly after the kids. It's bypassing any sort of wise or mature filter, going directly into the hearts and minds of kids. And that feels different. And I'm happy to see states coming together, states that on the surface don't like each other, are coming together to say, hey, they write here, how TikTok keeps people watching and engaging is somewhat mysterious. They have had to pay millions of dollars in fines. TikTok has already for how they're going after children under the age of 13. As somebody who doesn't consume TikTok regularly, Help me out with the redeeming value of this
I can help you, John. So to TikTok's defense, I am a big consumer.
Those words have never been uttered in the history of the English language, by the way.
Here's the thing. A lot of people assume TikTok is a bunch of salacious dance challenges, but what's extra dangerous is how good the algorithm is at learning what you like.
Okay.
And so it doesn't ask you. There's no survey that says, hey, George, are you interested in personal finance and food hacks? It didn't ask me that. It just learned over time the kind of content I was engaging in. So I don't see dance challenges. What I see is a lot of content creators, trying to build their followings, trying to sell an online course, whatever. A lot of the Bitcoin bros that are out there trying to teach you on whatever the next coin you should invest in. And so I do see a lot of value in short-form content creation. It's where things are going. It's where we've been heading. We have a shorter attention span than ever. And even the cartoons these days, if you watch them, there's a new scene change every 3 or 4 seconds.
Right.
Because it's just bright garbage and you need to keep your attention by switching scenes, cutting cameras. We are losing our attention span. So that, to me, is one of the most dangerous parts. It's not the salacious dance challenges. It's the fact that I can't focus anymore. I can't even sit through a 2-hour movie because I got to, where's my phone? I got to check the text.
You can't drive to the grocery store without trying to text and drive and get emails and make phone calls.
And so, to me, the danger is in what short-form content could be doing to our attention spans, to our focus.
And
we can't pay attention in conversations anymore.
That's a neurological consequence, right? It's changing how our brain is wired together. So you said you were going to defend TikTok, and I feel like you just joined my team.
I love the content that I see on TikTok. I find it more valuable than some things I see on YouTube.
Okay.
I just watched one yesterday, and it was a girl explaining what's going on with Ukraine and NATO, and she did it in a really funny kind of almost like she was gossiping to a friend about it. And she explained it in 60 seconds so concisely and perfectly and entertained me along the way. So I think there is value in the style of content. There's value in a platform like TikTok, which, like it or not, has done this really well of serving you up content that it thinks you will like and then keeping you engaged. Gotcha. So on that side, that's just smart marketing. That's how the content machine works. It's why we love watching YouTube video after YouTube video, and now it's TikTok.
And so it sounds like the meta lesson then is, no pun intended, is parents have to continue to remain parents. Because asking a 10-year-old or a 14-year-old to look at cooking videos over salacious videos or extra violent content or whatever, you're asking too much of a small kid, right?
Yes, I'm a grown man. It's very different for me versus a 13-year-old, especially if you have kids out there. I can't imagine what it's like being a parent and trying to, make sure that you're aware of what your kid is engaging in, what apps that they're downloading. And part of all of the drama with TikTok is that there's no need for parents' permission. Kids can just download this app, make their account, and have free reign over all the content on there.
Yeah. And, man, I trust you. You're smart and you're wise, and you do your due diligence. If somebody said, hey, I've been getting a lot of updates on what's going on overseas via TikTok, I would just shake my head in sadness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So also be careful about what you're getting to.
Well, this is their news platform now.
Yeah.
They're not checking CNN and Fox News anymore. Teens are just going on TikTok.
That's great either.
And they're just learning from people their age about what's going on. And so take everything with a grain of salt.
Yep.
TikTok is not gospel. It is not the dictionary, so do your due diligence. But it's a fun, entertaining platform. I use it to learn things and to be entertained. But if you've got a kid out there, you've got to be really careful about how this is affecting your teen with comparison culture. And I
both
need to be a TikToker.
content-wise and neurologically, right?
Yeah, because it used to be, I want to be a YouTuber, John. That's the new goal of every high schooler. Now it's, I want to be a TikTok influencer, and I want to make content. What's my content going to be? How am I going to hook people in? And they get obsessed with this, with all the likes, all the engagement, all the comments, and all the critics, and every negative comment that comes through. That affects you mentally. That sticks with you.
Especially kids, right?
Dave and I just read mean tweets yesterday. It doesn't affect us like it would a teenager.
Right.
We have thicker skin than I did at 14 years old.
Well, you remember a few things people said to you when you were 14, right?
There's a comment that still sticks with me. When I was 14, I uploaded a YouTube video, and they said it was a me covering Umbrella by Rihanna on acoustic guitar, and they said, "You killed it, ... and not in a good way." And it stuck with me because it was funny, it was creative,
but it hurt.
But there's something about these strangers that are critics on the internet, and we take it personally and go, this is a reflection of my character and who I am. And so you've got to be really careful, not just about what you're posting, what you're engaging in, but what other people are saying that you don't even know.
So, man, I just loop back to two big things. Number one, if you're wondering, can I have a job? Can I have a life if I don't engage in this? I don't, and I seem to be doing okay. And the second thing is, please be highly diligent with your kids. Just handing your kid a device or a box, a digital babysitter, and saying, go get them and make good choices is just a recipe for disaster. The data on children's mental health and their engagement with social media continues to just be jaw-dropping.
I think it's going to be one of the biggest issues for that generation that we've got to grapple with. And parents are the start of it. They've got to have these conversations.
Woo! 888-825-5225. We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined here by Ramsey personality George Camel, and we're taking your calls on life and money. Let's go to Nathaniel in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. What's up, Nathaniel?
Yes, I am. My question is, I have a small business where I do delivery of dogs and drive people around. And right now with the gas prices, I am being killed.
Yeah.
Yesterday, my wife and I just put our first budget together, and I'm just wondering how do I budget for expenses for my business?
Well, I mean, in a sense, you're budgeting the same way you would for your personal finances. So I would look at all of your expenses for your business and make sure that you're charging enough that you're able to cover all of those costs and still pay yourself. So is that the case right now?
Right now I'm doing okay, but like with my dog delivery, people are starting to turn down my services because I had to raise my prices.
Right. So Nathaniel, how honest can I be with you right now?
Yeah.
Can I be pretty honest with you? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever I get scared, whenever I get angry, I don't make good choices, and I don't make good decisions, and I don't treat people around me okay. I filled up my truck yesterday, and it was my eyes bulged out. It was a lot. And I have a little secret gas station that I use here in Nashville. I call it a secret. It's not, but they just happen to have gas prices that are way cheaper than everybody, and it was hard. And so I was sad for a minute, and I was frustrated for a minute, and any choice I make to be angry and raged out after that is a choice for me to be miserable. And I can hear it in your voice that you're pissed off and you're angry. And that usually leads me and most people to not make great choices. And so you run a business and this hurts and this is scary, and the gas prices went up. So have a moment where you're angry about it. Have a moment where you're frustrated and you are doing a good thing and you're helping people out, and suddenly you're having to make hard choices about whether you can even do this thing anymore. And then let's quickly as possible move to, okay, here's the new reality. I'm going to own the reality. And then what comes next? What's the pivot? And it might be, for a season, I'm not delivering dogs anymore because I'm losing business because I can't afford to do this job anymore. And it's the same if you sold jet airplanes and all of a sudden steel got expensive. Or you were a construction engineer and and wood got expensive, right? And so what you're asking us is to say, like, is there a secret hack here? And there's really not. Your material costs for your business just went way up. And so things got expensive and you had to adjust your prices. And now people are saying, I can't afford those prices. That's the state of the world right now. Literally the state of the globe. So give us an idea. I know you've thought about some ideas. What's a pivot you can make?
I've thought about getting some small jobs around my area. Like I love butchering. So I'm thinking about talking to some butchers in my area.
I love that. What about going to You seem to be good with pets. Can you walk dogs instead of drive them around? I'm just making stuff up, man. I don't know what you're doing.
I'm out in the country. Not very many people have. That's not a thing that people do out in the country.
Okay.
What does the small business make right now?
I'm making approximately $2,400 a month.
Okay. And is that all of your income?
Yes.
And is that all profit?
No.
This worries me. This doesn't feel, you're living at the poverty level at this point.
Yeah.
What's your goal for this business?
Well, I've been doing it for 8 years, and I'm actually going to be going to the mission field in several years, so I'm not looking for anything long term right now.
But you can go get a job for 5 years that's, a full-time position until you leave for the mission field. But making $28 grand after running a business for 8 years, and that's not even your profit, that's a bad business. It's not working out.
You're not running a sustainable business, my man.
Even aside from gas prices.
Yeah.
I can hear that hurt in your voice because, man, you've put a lot of your heart and mind and soul in it. And I bet are you good at this? Sounds like you're good at this.
Yeah.
Or let me even ask, it sounds like you care about the people whose dogs you're driving around and delivering things. It sounds like you care about this. Is that right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So I'm just going to give you my secret hack when things get spun out on me like this. I have a note card, and I wish it was more sophisticated. Maybe one day I'll make an app. I'll get with George and we'll make an app. But I literally write down what can I control on this and what can I cannot. And what you can control is how you treat people, your work ethic, your ideas, your desire to help others, all those things. You can control all that. Control number one, you can't control gas prices. Not in the middle of a global chaos like we have right now. Number two, I can't control that my minimum price has to be X or I actually lose money doing my job. And you can't control number three, that people will not pay that price. So I've got to do something else. What can I control? Number four, doing something different. And it might be a season, you go work fast food because you're going to make more money, or you go work at Starbucks, you're going to make more money, or you go become a farmhand out there in the country in Harrisburg, whatever it looks like. But take the season, mourn it, grieve it. It's heartbreaking. Like, I don't want to make light of it, but I want you to let some of that rage leave you. Otherwise, you're going to end up making a tough decision or a not well thought out decision. You're going to take out a loan. You're going to get mad at somebody. You're going to end up just setting yourself on fire instead of solving the problem at hand, which is I got to make some money. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And my hope is, man, I hope gas prices return. I don't see it on the horizon. It looks like we got a mess on our hands. I'm not a prophet, of course, when it comes to gas prices, but I would think more than a month, more than 2 months, more than 3 months, man, you're already running a business that really has no margin at all. It's not making any money.
Nathaniel, I want to do you another favor here. I'm going to have Kelly pick up, and we're going to send you a copy of our friend Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose. And I think that will give you some ideas on how to get clear about what you're really wanting to do. It feels like right now you've been spinning your wheels trying to get this business off the ground. You're heading into the mission field years from now, potentially, but there's a lot of life you've got to live in between that. And I want you to do something that you love and also get paid really well to do it. Right. You're worth that. So hang on, Kelly will pick up, and we will get you a copy of From Paycheck to Purpose. Thanks for the call.
Let's slide in one more call here. Curtis in, you know what? We're not going to make it, are we? No, we're going to make it? Yeah, let's go. All right, Curtis in Wichita. Let's do this real quick.
Touch and go there.
Curtis, run up. We're up against the clock, so get to your question quick, brother.
Hey, was just wondering, I just started listening to you all, and I want to get my wife involved in this, but we have a lot of squabbles about money, and I was wondering what the best way to approach, kind of coming up with, hey, we got to get out of debt. Here's something I found. Will you sit down and do this with me?
Most of the time I've seen this conversation, when it doesn't go well, is people make the conversation about money. They make the conversation about tactics. Okay. They make a conversation about you did this and I did this and I have to do this, and so you got to sell that. And those are all peripheral issues to the core issue, which is, honey, I'm scared to death. I can't breathe. I can't sleep. I don't believe we've got enough gas in the tank to get us over the next year or the next 2 years, and this is scaring me to death. And I don't have a picture of what this looks like, but I just found this Total Money Makeover book. I just found this podcast of this guy, this crazy guy Dave, and his squadron of goons who are telling us to live different lives. I'm terrified, and I'm being vulnerable here. I'm telling you this. and I've got a plan for us. Would you join me in this? Can we have a picture of what it would look like if we both did this together and then we're free on the other end of this? That's a much different conversation than, we owe too much money. You're going to have to sell that car, and I'm going to keep the motorcycle, but I'm probably going to, you hear what I'm saying? Very different conversations. Yeah. Go at the heart piece, and you go first. Have you done that part yet?
No, not really. We're just, we've lived a normal life for the last 12 years. We've been married. We filed bankruptcy twice. And
are you a guy you a guy that's always got a plan, an idea?
No, I always think I do, but really I don't.
That's right. And she's probably heard a lot of your schemes and a lot of your plans and a lot of your, this is going to work, honeys, and she's not having it. This is when you be vulnerable and tell her, honey, I'm scared, and this time I'm going to do something different. Thank you so much for that call, Curtis. Hey, that's the first hour in the books. We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show. Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
What is going on? We are live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your money and your life and your relationships and your mental health, whatever's going on in your life. I'm John Deloney, joined here by my good friend George Camel, and we are taking your calls on anything, everything. 888-825-5225. It's 888-825-5225. Let's go out to Mara in Buffalo, New York. What is up, Mara?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for trusting us with your time. What's up?
Okay, I'll make it as quick as I can.
No, take your time. You're good. You're good. What's up?
Okay. I've been a police officer the last 10 years, and in 2009, I switched to teaching full-time, so I went down to part-time. We recently found you guys, and we've been hammering these baby steps, and we're on number 2. I've been struggling with keeping the law enforcement job mentally for years, and I guess I'm just wondering, I waitress part-time. I have 4 jobs, and I make about $300 a shift waitressing in a day, between $200 to $300. And as a police officer, I only take home about like $60. And mentally, I'm kind of done with it, but I just, I have about $5,000 in my deferred comp there. I can't touch it until I leave. Another positive is that my time will transfer into the state retirement as a teacher, but I don't know if I'm ready to pull the plug, and I don't know what to do. I make about $5,000 a year now. Like I said, I do about 1 shift a week as a police officer, but waitressing, I can make about $15,000 to $20,000. So I guess I don't know if I'm making the right move to finally close that chapter, or do I hold on to it?
So why did you become a police officer?
I became a police officer because I love my community. My brother actually does it full time. I pretty much wanted to do everything like him. I work in the hometown where I grew up. I also teach here too, so I'm with the same community. But it's not what it was when I first started. I also have 3 children now, so it's not, you know what I mean? I'm not young anymore. I worry about coming home to my babies. What I do, I primarily dispatch now, so I don't even like to go out on the road anymore just because there's no, if I get hurt, I'm not covered like I was when I was full-time. You know what I mean? I feel like there's way too much risk now than there was.
But Mara, let's be honest. And most people won't know this from externally, but dispatch will take your soul. Because those are your boys.
It's horrible.
Those are your boys, right? And every time you put somebody in
Yeah.
danger, you sit there and you don't breathe until they radio back that they're out, right?
Absolutely.
And so most people don't understand the depths of hell that being a dispatcher is. Some of the most egregious trauma I've ever been around was walking alongside dispatchers, and when they lose somebody or somebody gets yelled at or screamed at or hurt or something. The dispatchers that I've known in my life are deeply invested in this. And so
absolutely,
it's one thing to say, yeah, I'm not actively being shot at, but to say you're not being affected isn't accurate. You're being deeply affected every day, right? And then you don't breathe for your whole 10-hour shift or 12-hour shift, and then you go home and you have to exhale, and you got 3 little babies who are using you like a jungle gym, right? And now we're in it again. So let's reverse that question. You told me that you wanted to serve and you wanted to be like your big brother, both noble things. Let's picture a world where you're not a police officer at all anymore. You're just done. You hang it up, you say you high five everybody, you get your donuts or your cookies or whatever, and they tell you, you hug everybody, and then you all go to the bar, and then it's over. Take me there. Is that a joyful moment? Is that a sad moment?
I think it's both. I think that mentally, I haven't worked the road since about 2018. I had a couple of close calls, so I switched to inside. And then I knew when I went off on maternity, I had my son, and I wasn't going back. I found a teaching job, and I've now almost done with 2 masters. So I think mentally I've been working towards it. And I think that I would still have that brotherhood because I've done this for 10 years. But I think I just need the push. Like I said, I only bring home about 60 a day after a shift there, and it's not.
And you're leaving $250 a day of your soul, right? So I'm gonna give you a quote, and I want you to tattoo it on your heart, okay? Just because it's hard and just because it hurts doesn't mean it's wrong.
Okay.
So when you say goodbye to one of the most unique and deeply intertwined fraternities on the planet, which is a police officer brotherhood, brother and sisterhood, when you say goodbye to that, you're leaving a part of yourself there. You know that, they know that, because y'all have literally stood in harm's way for one another. That's what you do there.
Yeah.
And you've stood in harm's way of your community hours and hours, and the community didn't even know you were there. And sometimes it's time to go. And you're a person of service. You found another avenue to serve your community through teaching. And here's the thing: if you quit teaching, you're going to find another way to serve. You probably serve your people as a waitress by smiling at them. And you're somebody who says, "Hey, how's it going?" And you ask them that one other question that can make their day better in just a few minutes, right? So you're a person of service. That's who you are. You're going to find avenues to serve. But just because it hurts doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do. And so spend a minute thinking, all right, I'm not going back there anymore. I'm going to leave it all. I'm done. Imagine that. Is that a smile that comes to your? Is that maybe it's not even a smile.
Yes.
It's a lifted way. See, you can hear. You can feel it. So I think you've answered your own question, and I love this. Well, I tell parents when we're talking about parenting questions, I always tell them when they ask me about their kids, I always say, "Hey, behavior is a language." So if I was to apply that algorithm to you and say behavior is a language, here's what I've seen over the last few years. You started becoming a teacher. You got 1-2 master's degree to make yourself a better teacher. You started getting other jobs like waitressing just to balance the gap of the police officer shifts you're not taking. And now you've got one tiny pinky toe still in the precinct. Every other part of your body's left. And so if I look at behavior as a language, I would tell you, you've already left.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You just haven't said goodbye yet.
Yeah.
So maybe it's time to say goodbye. And know this, your community's going to miss you. They're going to miss the crap out of you. They're going to miss you.
Yeah, I think so.
And it might be the right time. It might be the right time.
I've got a quick question for you. Do you want to be a full-time waitress? What do you really want to do if the money was no object?
No, I love teaching. I love it. The waitressing, that's just it's my family's restaurant, so it's extra income. It helps them because we're short-staffed. And I'm hammering out baby step 2 with our family. We're going Gazelle. And like I said, it's almost triple the income a shift.
So it sounds like the long term is I want to be a teacher full-time, and I'm doing the waitressing stuff to help my family and to pay off debt. But long term, I want to be a teacher.
Yes.
Awesome.
So go back and listen to this call. You've answered your own question. I'm not going to be the guy that tells you to pull the trigger and tells you to leave, but it'll be all right if you do. We're so grateful for your service, Mara. So grateful for the person you are and the community member you are. Your community's lucky to have you. Buffalo, shout her out.
We need more Maras in the world who want to serve their communities.
Way more.
Awesome.
We'll be right back.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Triple-8 825-5225. This is the Ramsey Show. Let's go to Casey out in Dallas, Texas. What's up, Casey?
Hey, how's it going, brother?
We are rocking on to the break of dawn, my man. What's up?
Oh, nothing much. Out here trying to make some money. I had a question. Got real gazelle intense about getting out of debt.
Hey, real quick. 30, so. Hey, Casey. Okay. Talking to your phone there, man.
Yeah, it is. It's in the phone.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now? Are you good?
A little bit better. Go for it.
Sounds like you're on the road or something.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I was calling to see what I should do with my car.
Okay.
I got it on a 6-year loan, 14% interest. I owe $19 on it. The car's worth $15,600 from an offer from CarMax. I don't know if I should just pay the difference and to get out from the car because I had to pay for a truck already. It's just a little older.
Sell it private sale today, because you'll get a wash selling it private sale.
You think so?
Put it on Facebook Marketplace, put it on Craigslist, and at least give yourself a couple of weeks.
Okay. Yeah, I know the Kelly Blue Book on it was about the same as selling it to CarMax. It was ranging $15,500 to $16,500, but the market is a little higher right now, so somebody might be willing to pay the difference.
Yeah, I think you got to do a little more research.
Do you have the cash to pay the difference right now?
By next Friday, I will.
Okay. If you end up there, I won't hurt my feelings because you got another truck already paid off. It wouldn't hurt my feelings.
It's a 99 F-250. It's got 350,000 miles on it. It's kind of high mileage, but
yeah, but it's just getting started. That car is going to last forever.
You got 14% interest, man. Just doing the math makes me want to throw up.
I know, and that was the thing is I look at it now because they take most of the interest right off the top of the loan. So it's like I paid $6,000 of the $10,000 in interest besides what the car actually cost. So it's
I think you list this thing today and on the contingency that it's picked up next Friday, and you can pay the difference on the loan when it does sell, and we kiss this thing goodbye.
And so, I would try to list it, even if you just have to list it even, so it's even money when you sell it. Try that for a week, and if not, go back to CarMax, get your money, and then go pay the loan off.
And if you do it private, they're going to want to negotiate a little bit. They won't have much margin in this market, but list it for where you'd have a clean deal there, and if they come down a little bit, you should have the cash to cover the difference.
But yeah, that's what I do. I'm selling this car before I can before the weekend before next weekend's over for sure. Absolutely. All right, let's go out to Will in NYC. What's up, Will?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Outstanding, brother. What are you up to?
All right. I got 3 separate retirement accounts that I've never contributed to, but I'm leaving one job and hopefully starting another one next month. I'm just wondering if it'd be beneficial to convert any of this. Like, I got 2 401ks and then a separate annuity.
Are you getting laid off?
About $21,000.
Are you getting laid off or are you quitting?
It was kind of an injury thing, so it's kind of quitting and getting laid off.
Okay. And when you say, I hope to have a job next month, do you have something lined up?
Yeah, I got an interview on Monday. If not, I'll probably wind up going back. So I'm not fully terminated
Okay.
just yet, but I know that the union has closed out my account.
Okay. Well, good luck
So there's
on
no
your interview here.
at the moment.
Okay. So circle back. Walk me through again what you're talking about. What are your accounts?
So I'm just wondering if if I'm leaving this job and the 2 accounts that I have are going to start, the one annuity is going to start to pay out, and I think it's like once a month for 10 years, and the other one's just a 401k. Should I put the 2 401ks together on one account? Should I try to do something into an IRA?
I would do a direct rollover to an IRA. That's going to give you the most control, and you're not going to have any tax implications that way.
Okay.
And that'll give you the most investing options. I don't like the idea of these just sitting around with your old employer. So I want you to do a direct rollover. You can contact one of our SmartVestor pros in your area. Jump on to RamseySolutions.com, and they can walk you through the best option for you, which and I'm guessing is going to be a direct rollover to an IRA so that you have full control over that, and it'll stay with you and not with any employer.
Okay.
And Will,
I
just did this when I came to Ramsey. I had 401s all over the place, 403s all over the place, and it's a pain in the butt. You have to get on the phone with your advisor, and they have to talk for you, and it's a whole thing, and you sign some papers, and then all of a sudden you look up, and it's all rolled over into one place on the same account. It's all rolled over there, and It's nice and smooth. Yeah, so it's a pain, and it's worth every minute you spend on it.
All right.
Get it done, brother.
I appreciate your time.
You bet. Hey, George, can you roll out of an annuity?
I believe you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it depends on the type of annuity because there's a whole bunch of types here, but you should be able to roll over that into an IRA just like you would your old 401k. There's variable, there's fixed, so I would work with a SmartVestor Pro to walk through what the implications of that. But annuities in general are a no-no in our world.
Garbage, that's right. So that's to say if you roll out of that, absolutely take your money and go there.
Yeah. And you'll have full control that way.
That's right. All right, Daniel in Macon, Georgia. What's up, Daniel? How we doing?
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Excellent. What's up?
Good. Hey, I got a question. So my wife and I, we're on baby step number 2, and we are snowballing debt, and we just paid off $13,000 in debt just in the past, 3 weeks.
Way to go.
So we are gazelle intent trying to get this done as fast as we can. We have a question, though. We have a piece of farm equipment that is zero-based interest no matter what. There's no, deadline. There's no month end on it. It is zero-based length of the loan. And then we have a vehicle that has an interest rate on it. And our goal was to kind of pay off the vehicle first because of the interest. However, we owe less on the piece of farm equipment than we do the vehicle. So if
What's
I understand everything right, we're about $20,000.
Okay, and you paid off $13K in 3 weeks. So it sounds like you could pay off
yes
the $20,000 in a month and a half.
Part of that was tax return, and then my wife's also a realtor, so she had a good month.
Got it.
But that's not guaranteed money. So we live off of my paycheck. I'm actually a pastor. And I was in the military for a while too, so we have some coming in from that, and we live off of that, and we pay debt with the extra income that she makes and the occasional side job that I do from time to time.
Got it. And what's left on the other debt?
The car.
About $30,000.
I'm paying off the farm equipment first.
Yep. No ifs, ands, or buts. How much do you make?
So with my with the church and also with my military, about $5,000 a month.
Is that total household income?
Because hers is so erratic, we don't really count hers unless it's a good month or something.
That's
that just
considered
goes
a
toward
bonus.
That is the entire household.
So that is a
income.
lot of car for a $60,000 a year income.
Okay.
Have you thought about selling that car and really cut down your debt?
We did. The dealership actually offered to buy it back from us, and then put us in we have 5 children, to put us in an older van, which it would have been fine, but the payments were the exact same.
Yeah.
Why are they putting you back in payments?
Same.
I'm not doing that deal.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into
Exactly.
payments.
So we actually kept our newer van because it was actually.
Well, how much could you sell it for?
Same payment. Probably, I don't know, third. I really don't know. They offered us like $2,000 or $3,000 under what it was at the time.
If you can sell that thing and get out from under it, that's going to clean this up, because you guys have too much car for the income right now for where you're at.
I know you got 5 kids. You got 5 kids and 2 of you, so that's 7 people. So
I'm getting an old beater minivan right now and getting rid of this.
Yeah, getting to and from. But if you can sell that $30,000 car, even if you have to take out a loan for a $15,000 car or a $10,000 car, that's now you're talking about a totally different ballgame. And yeah, sell that farm equipment first. I don't care about the interest rate. I care about the psychology of this. Do it right.
We can't start caring about math after we go into debt. That's not how it works.
That's right. Get that sucker paid off and run to the end zone here. We'll be right back.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at betheltech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's betheltech.net/Ken Coleman.
We are back on the Ramsey Show and on the debt-free stage. 2 beautiful good folks, Dylan and Lauren. How are we doing?
Pretty great. How about you?
I'm doing great. We don't never know about George, but I'm assuming that because you're on the debt-free stage that you are here to do your debt-free scream.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are.
Congratulations. So how much have you paid off?
We paid $120,783. Let me just check that note. Yep, $93.
Not that we're counting every penny, right? And where do y'all live?
We live in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. And so what do y'all do for a living?
I'm an orthodontic dental assistant, so I do like the wire changes, x-rays and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm an energy strategist.
Strategist.
That sounds like a job my 5-year-old self would make up and go, that's what I'm going to do when I grow up. And you're doing it.
I'm going to strategize about some energy and stuff. Excellent. How much you make?
We currently make about $130K.
$130K a year. Fantastic. How long did it take you to pay off $120,000?
1 year, 11 months, and 4 days.
Good night. Who did you sell? Tell us this journey. What happened?
Yeah, we graduated from college in 2019, and we really got on the bandwagon right around then. Now, I had been working a lot of jobs before that, but that's really when we kicked it into gear, and we went from about $17,000 in combined $18,000 in combined income all the way up to $130,000 in this time period. So.
Wow. So what was this $120,000 debt?
College.
Yep, all my college student loan debts.
Yeah, the way Lauren looked at you before she answered that question. So what did you study?
I studied energy, business, and finance, so it was directly correlated, but still super expensive.
Wow.
So $120,000. How in the world did y'all figure out how to pay this much off in 1 year and 11 months?
The Dave Ramsey books. Doing everything underneath the sun that we possibly could. It was working late nights, Ubering. I even was I was a food server at a country club when I moved over to Pittsburgh, and I was serving my coworkers on a regular basis for my day job, and it's humbling.
What did they say to you when you walked up? We're like, whoa, what are you doing here, man?
It's a little bit of that. They also understand. I mean, we're young, so I mean, they get it, but they also don't understand why someone would be able to work a highfalutin corporate job and then turn around and go serve people at the other side of it.
How old are you two?
I'm 25.
I'm 23.
Wow. Okay, so take me back to the original conversation. Somebody sat down with somebody and said, we owe $120,000. We need to get bonkers about this.
You want to go first or you want me?
You can go.
Okay.
It was kind of you, I think, who initiated.
Yeah. So I'll say I only started realizing how much in trouble I was in my junior year of college, and it didn't really hit me, though, until I started dating this girl that I really, really liked and realized that...
Please be Lauren, please be Lauren, please be Lauren. All right,
it was. But the thing is that I realized that I'd be bringing all this debt into this relationship, and that really helped me kick into gear when I was like, I don't want to burden us, let alone someone who has no student loan debt, and say, hey, you should marry this guy who owes so much money, and is just... sat down and I started working with it, and she enjoyed the idea, and we just kept going afterwards.
I bet she did. So Lauren, tell me this: did you feel the weight that he was feeling of this debt coming into the marriage?
Especially in college when I saw him selling plasma twice a week. Did you want me to bring that up? Or? Yeah, he has a scar on his arm actually.
Wow.
So that'll be there forever. But just seeing him like eat ramen or skip meals altogether, I was like, hey, I want to like do this with you. And I don't think I was ever like as gung-ho as he was in college, but like we kind of both, like when we got married August last year. We both started living like that. I never sold plasma because they said my veins were too tiny, but
But you didn't need that. So you started paying this off in college, is when you got Gazelle Intense.
I started saving up money during that time period.
Okay.
I didn't make the actual first payment until after graduation.
Good for you. Very wise.
Wow.
Very, very wise.
Yeah. But you guys were willing to do whatever it took to get this out of your life.
Mhm.
And a lot of people ask, they say, well, would you marry someone who has debt? And clearly the answer was yes, as long as he was wanting to pay this off aggressively.
I think it was a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
It paid off. Man, you guys are amazing.
Okay, so what would you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
I'll go on that one.
You go, yeah.
It was starting with a plan, having a vision for that future, and then just hard work. Luck is a product of hard work, and some people would look at me and say, hey, you're a college kid out of, 2 years out, and you're making a lot of money. That's crazy, but you got lucky, and the truth is that I was working 16 to 20 hours a day. It's not luck, it's hard work. So
hard work and hard work and hard work. And what would you tell the millions of young couples who find themselves in your exact situation? We owe 6 figures of student loans. We're staring at each other, and I think I like you, but oh man, we just jumped into a river with concrete chained to our feet, right? It's going to be hard to breathe for a few. What do you tell those couples?
Don't put it off. Don't normalize debt. Get out of it as fast as you can.
Yep.
That's the only way. It won't, bite you in the butt later.
So on the other side of this, have you had that incredible feeling? Have you received a paycheck, had your paychecks deposit, and you don't owe anybody anything, and it's all yours?
So we paid off our debt today, officially.
Oh, today!
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So our final payment, we wire transferred it yesterday on the car ride to Nashville, and got a practice of the debt-free scream then, but it didn't go through until this morning. So
just in the nick of time.
Yep.
Kelly's checking your bank statements, going, "You guys better be debt-free."
So I actually heard over the police scanner 2 young people screaming out of the top of their car while they're driving down the highway. That must have been you two, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I was joking with him. We got to roll our windows down so that when we speed past people, all they hear is wee.
So this is yesterday. So you'll have the benefit here in a few weeks when you get your next round of paychecks.
Yeah.
That it deposits and you go to make that payment and you think, oh, this is ours.
Yeah. Well, we actually, it all happened because my bonus payout just came perfectly on time today. And so that's why this was able to happen. And because of that, though, it actually pushed us all the way from in baby step 2 all the way to baby step 4.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay,
we're
so
already
you have an
done with that.
emergency fund now?
Yep. And we're ready to go, have a good time now because it's ours and we have some cash to go. Dropping a 50% tip on a bill last night because we could.
That's amazing.
And it's just great.
That's so. And I love that your first impulse was to give last night too. We're gonna have fun, and by the way, we're gonna give, and that's gonna be fun too. Who are your biggest cheerleaders?
So I'd say first was
Our
our
parents.
family. My family started with me, I think first, and then your parents got on board with it right afterwards, understanding where we're coming from, and they're like, "Hey, my daughter's marrying this crazy guy," but they got on board, and they're a great support for that as well. I also have a financial coach, and actually did that as another side gig. I helped him out doing financial coaching too through Dave Ramsey's site, and that was John Murdoch at Waypoints Financial Services. So
very cool.
Little shout out there. But,
very cool.
Yeah.
I just wanted to shout out to my Aunt Lee because she let me live with her for several months before we got married, and I was able to set aside the money that I would have spent on rent and like just pay that completely toward the debt.
So it sounds like it was a whole team effort. Once you said we're going to put our noses down, you had some people come around you that lifted you up when this thing was hard, and y'all really got after it. So 1 year, 11 months. Making about $130,000. You paid off $120,000 and some change. You are now debt free. So in front of you two, in front of the whole world, in front of the planet. Count it down. Let's hear your debt free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free! I love watching young couples who A, still like each other.
That's big.
Who B, they're like gross in life.
I know. Well, they're so young. They're newlyweds, and they're debt-free.
And they
There's
just
so
went
much.
on a great adventure together, and
That's
they paid off all
romantic.
their debt.
And we're going to give you guys a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires and Total Money Makeover. You're going to pass this on to someone else, get them started on the journey. We're so proud of you guys. That's the next step for you, millionaire status. Let's go.
Way to go! Over the last 30 years, I've walked with thousands of people and their families to help them overcome their challenges, things that they're going through in their life. And I got a new book available for pre-order called Own Your Past, Change Your Future, and it's selling like crazy. It's going real well. Pretty excited about it. Everyone wants and needs this information, this idea that you're not broken, you're not dysfunctional, some stuff happened to you, and what can we do about it? Some of the stuff that happened to you might have been your fault even. What do we do next, right? So, Own Your Past, Change Your Future is going to talk to you how to deal with different types of trauma, how to get connected, how to make friends as an adult, what do you do next, how to take control of your thoughts and your actions, everything, right? And there's some principles that you can that take with you as you walk the rest of your life. When good stuff happens, when hard stuff happens, when scary things, when things we can't control, all of it. And here's what's really beautiful. Our friends at BetterHelp stepped up as a part of this book. They believe in the book, and they stepped up. What I didn't want people to do, George, is close this book and say, I'm ready. And they call a counselor, they call a coach, and they say, great, we'd love to have you, 6-month waiting list. So BetterHelp said, we're going to take that off the table. And so if you pre-order the book now, it comes with a free month of therapy from BetterHelp. And you can have that therapy anywhere. You can do it at home, on Zoom. You can have therapy where you don't even have to look at somebody. You can talk to them on the phone. You can talk to them on the computer. So it's really remarkable. You can pre-order this book for $20. Comes with a free month therapy and a couple other things. Go to RamseySolutions.com and pre-order Own Your Past, Change Your Future today. George, I'm pretty excited about this thing.
I'm very excited, too. I just got my advanced reader's copy, and we got the real hard copies in just yesterday.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
It's amazing.
They look pretty sharp.
Yeah, and the content's even better.
Is it?
Yeah. Your face on the cover is not the selling point. Let's just be honest.
Not the selling point.
It's the words inside that can help.
I know, and that's – never mind. Let's go to Sherilyn in West Palm Beach. What's up, Sherilyn? How are we doing?
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Of course. Thanks for calling. What's up?
So, Stork Fund, right? You pause the debt snowball, and then just pile up cash while you're expecting. So that's what we were doing last year. And then October comes, we welcomed our third baby, and then November, a couple weeks later, I realized, hey, we've got all this money saved up, and we were down to our final debt. And I said, we have enough that we can go ahead and pay off this final debt, leaving the $1,000 emergency fund. And since Baby Step 3 is just, building up the fully funded emergency fund and saving, well, we can just, when the bill from the hospital comes, we can just pay straight from that, and we'll be good to go. I was really excited to pay off that final debt. So that's what we did. But now we got the bill from the hospital, and we apparently did not get our savings built up quite enough, and it will pretty much wipe out our savings, including that starter emergency fund. So did I just really screw that up?
Well, I don't know if that's the right question. You probably jumped the gun a little bit, got excited about paying that thing off. So it kind of sounds like when someone says, hey, I'm getting a $10,000 bonus, and so I'm going to go ahead and buy a $10,000 thing, and the check comes in at $7,500, right? So you got excited and jumped the gun. I think the question of did I screw something up, I don't know if that's a good use of your time right now. I think the best use of your energy and time is, so what do we do now? What comes next? Because this isn't something that's going to happen on repeat, right? Unless you get pregnant again down the road, and then you'll know. Let's hang on to that emergency fund. Have you met with the hospital about your bills?
No.
Okay.
And I do know we'll have another one coming once there's another claim that processes.
Okay. I would strongly recommend you get the entirety of your bill. And since you have money in savings, since you've got money in your emergency fund generally, that you have cash, that you go sit down with the hospital and say, what will you settle this for with me if I pay you in cash right now? And here's what's critical. You have to get their offer in writing. Don't give them anything. But when it comes to having a baby and you having cash, it's a win-win for everybody. They want you to have a good experience in the hospital. And so I would sit down with them and say, what would you take for cash right now? We want to settle this bill. We don't have the full amount here. How much would you settle it for? And I've heard them saying, well, how much can you pay? And so you and your husband might want to have a number in mind and say, we could do this today. And clearly it's not going to be a wipeout for y'all. You don't want to wipe out everything you got. And the worst they can say is absolutely not. And then you can say, well, cool, then we'll put you on a plan and we'll pay the best that we can as we go. Most places, most of the time, will take your cash in hand today, and then you will be done with this thing. Does that sound good?
That does sound good.
Yes, so that would be.
I'm kind of hoping for something like that.
That would be my hope. And again, the worst thing they can say is no. And if they say no, I am not going to risk my family's future right now and completely wipe myself out and have nothing in case I get a flat tire on the way home. So I'm going to keep some money in my emergency fund, and I'm going to pay them what I can, what's safe for our family, and then I'm going to make regular payments with them until we get this thing knocked out.
Sherilyn, how much are the medical bills that you know of right now? What's the total?
It's $2,800.
Oh, okay.
It's not like, it's not like a lot, but.
And how much do you guys have in cash?
Well, that's what we have. If I were to pay exactly what that bill is, it would leave us with $50 in our emergency fund.
Okay. Yeah, then, I mean, go with what John's saying and see what their response is. I think they'd be willing to work with you. They probably will knock off 25% if you just paid in full and got this thing out of there. They'll take that money now. They like that.
Maybe you walk up with $1,500 in cash and say, I'll give this to you today if we can settle this thing. We don't have a lot, and we have 100 kids here. In fact, I think we have 1,000 kids. Will you take $1,500 in cash and we can wipe this thing out? And they may say, we'll take $2,000, and you can shake their hand and say, great, and we're going to settle this. And then y'all are just going to be running and gunning to get that emergency fund built all the way to the tip top so you can move on to baby step 4. Yeah. Thank you so much for that call. Let's go out to Riley in Flint, Michigan. What's up, Riley?
Nothing from Riley.
Riley, you there?
Hello?
There we go.
Riley, what's
There we
up?
go.
You spooked us.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course. What's up?
So I'm a college student. I took off this semester because I have some credit card debt, and just between work and school is getting to be too much to try and manage my debt and my finances and work. And so I took this semester off, and I've been working on paying my credit card off. And I actually just got pointed in your guys' direction about 2 weeks ago for all the baby steps. And I kind of decided that I do want to pay off my student loan debt and try and get all of my debt paid off. I've always been terrible with money. And so I'm taking some time off for school. I'm a computer science major, so I can do a lot of stuff on my own at home. I'm just kind of wondering if it's a smart idea to try and pay off my student loans before going back to school.
What's the total debt that you have? So how much in credit cards and how much in student loans?
For credit cards, I have about $2,300, and for student loans, I have about $35,000.
$35,000. Okay, and how much school do you have left?
I have 3 semesters left, so 1.5 years.
1.5 years. Okay. Can you do this program elsewhere or online that's cheaper? Is this the best option?
Yeah, I was thinking about transferring my credits to something a little bit closer to home, so that way I don't have to pay for rent.
But sometimes when you're in your last 2 years, you may lose a lot of transfer credit. So I would check on that, okay? Don't just jump ship and run. Make sure you've got good data before you jump ship. Because you may run to a school closer to home to save money on rent, but because you're in the last 2 years, they're going to make you retake some courses that are specific to their college. And you may end up costing yourself more, whether in time or in tuition.
Riley, what's your income right now?
I make about, I'm working as a mail courier. I just got this job. So as of right now, I think I make about $30,000 in a year.
Okay. Well, here's what I'll tell you. I don't think you need to pause school and pay off all of these student loans and wait that long. But what I would do is make a plan to cash flow the rest of your school, invest in yourself right now, and as soon as you're out and you've got a better income, we focus on crushing this debt.
Yeah, let's get this debt. Let's get school out of the way. Knock it out of the way.
We got to get your income up. That's part of it.
Yeah, get this stuff out of the way, and then you can be about paying it off when you get out of school. That is another hour in the books. We'll see you shortly right here on The Ramsey Show. Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions in Nashville, Tennessee, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your money and your life and your relationships and your mental health, anything that's going on in your life. 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined here by Ramsey personality George Camel, and we're taking your calls on just about everything. Give us a shout. Let's go to James in Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, James, what's going on?
How's it going? So I recently looking at buying a house, and I'm only 20 years old, and I'm wondering if, based off my income and debt-to-income ratios, this is a smart decision. My loan is going to be 50% of my income.
Oh,
nope. Why'd you do this? How'd you get into this mess?
Well, based on housing market and everything, and from everything everyone's told me, it's going to continue to go up, right?
Hold on.
I
want to do this. I want to back out and start the whole thing over. I'm going to ask you what happened, and then I want you to take 100% full ownership of what you did and why. What was your thought process? Not what the market did, what people have been telling you. Take full ownership. So man, what happened? What got you in this mess?
I got money, and I had some money set aside, and I've been wanting to move out of mom and dad's, obviously. And I wanted to invest in something to help myself, right? Have equity and things that would bring my equity up.
Both noble ideas. Get out of mom and dad's house and put your money somewhere smart where you think it will grow. So how'd you end up in this situation with this house, this particular house? It's half of your income.
Well, talking to real estate agents and everything, and based off where it is, I figured it would be a good investment because it's an easy sell if I needed to resell, right, or rent. And based off of that, I figured I could make enough money out of the rent, or if I resold to make more money, there's that option. If I rented, I could make enough to pay for the mortgage instead of going somewhere and renting to someone else, right?
Probably not.
There's a lot of hypotheticals, and then there's the reality that 50% of your income is being swallowed up by a mortgage, and you can't breathe.
Right.
So where are you at in this purchase process? Have you signed a purchase agreement?
Yes, I've signed up a purchase agreement. I've already had inspectors come out and look at the home. I'm in the process of getting an appraisal. And that's where I'm at right now. Appraisal and then closing in 2-3 weeks.
How much did you put down on this house?
5%.
Oh, boy.
And it's, I'm guessing, a 30-year?
Yep.
Ooh, what's your earnest money? What are you in for already?
So I'm in at, I think it's $2,000 on earnest money.
Okay.
$1,600 to $2,000, somewhere around there.
What's the total purchase price of this house?
$160,000.
And what do you do for a living?
Retail management.
So what's your income?
$35,000 right now. A year.
I would work with this real estate agent and look at this contract and see what the stipulations are to get out of it. I mean, obviously you're going to lose your earnest money. That's a best case scenario. And you've already put a lot of money into this just with appraisals and inspections and closing costs. I mean, you will lose money on this.
But it's going to be a short-term loss versus, I'm telling you right now, you've set yourself up to have a hole that is going to take you decades to dig out. Yeah. So here's where I'm torn. You signed a contract. And you have an ethical obligation to see your contract through if you're a person of character and integrity. And as a person of character and integrity, you also looked in the mirror and said, what in the world am I doing? And so I would, working through your realtor, I would tell your realtor's going to be disappointed in you and try to talk you out of this. You make $35,000 and you bought a $160,000 house by barely putting any money down on it in a white hot market, and people are acting foolish market. You are the recipe for somebody who gets into something that gets them in trouble. I would talk to your realtor and tell them you made a foolish decision and you want to be in talks with the seller and see if they will let you out of this thing. And you're going to lose $2,000. You're going to, but I think it helps my heart to let the seller know I made a mistake, I screwed this up, I got in over my head, I'm 20 years old, I was trying to do right by me, which I love your spirit, man. And by doing right by me, I ended up setting myself up for a future catastrophe. You're going to lose your earnest money. You probably spent $400 or $500 or $600 having the house inspected. But that's going to be a knucklehead tax that is going to be well worth your time if you can roll out of this thing. Okay?
How much money did the bank approve you for, James? Or the lender?
160 or 155 is what it was.
Did you go borrowed $5,000 from somebody else?
That was my money, my $5,000.
So anytime the bank says all we can give you is this, always go way below that number.
Right.
Never listen to the bank. Listen to your budget. And your budget told you you're broke, and the bank said, hey, let's let this 20-year-old use up half of his income to pay this mortgage because we can still make money off of him.
And let's be real clear about the state of retail sales right now. It's a mess. It's a mess. And it's unstable. So, yeah, man, I would go call my realtor today and say, I need to sit down and talk with you in person and look across the table over coffee that you're going to pay for. Tell your realtor I've screwed up, and I need to explore an exit strategy here, and I want to be a person of integrity. I did sign a contract. I know that. I'm way, way over my head. And then get out of your parents' house by going to rent an apartment, man. Just get an apartment.
Yeah, when I was 20, you just rent with a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
It's a good time. We were in no place to be buying a house.
That's right. Especially with a $35,000 a year income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not as mad at James as I am about the system that allowed this to happen.
No, I love James's heart, man. He's thinking big and thinking. He talked to some folks who gave him some advice, and he's trying to get out there and just start swinging, man. But if you get in a ring and start swinging at somebody that much bigger than you, man, you're going to get yourself hurt.
He probably follows some YouTubers and TikTokers that said, dude, you got to do the house hacking thing. You can put no money down and get into this house. And I just see a young Dave Ramsey who went bankrupt.
That's exactly right.
Leveraging all this real estate and debt. And, man, it just scares me for this generation because that's what they're seeing. The parents are saying, hey, well, you got to get a house by now. When I was your age, I paid $8,000 for my first house.
I remember, George, right after the housing crisis back in 08, 09, I bought a house, I think, in 2012. And I went in and said, I'm not going over this amount. And I was qualified for double or triple that.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked at my banker and said, what are you doing? And I thought y'all fixed this. And she goes, this is fixed. And I thought, oh, no.
Yikes. Man.
If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month.
It's tax season, and I don't know anyone who loves taxes. Anyone who loves...
Speak for yourself, John. I'm right here.
I think we talked about this, but man, I've got up all my tax returns. I got all the stuff sent in, all like the giving thing, all the stuff in a big pile. And I sat down after the kids went to bed, like, I'm going to do my taxes.
And you did it with Ramsey Smart Tax.
I did it with Ramsey Smart Tax. I opened the screen. And there's your face.
Oh, I apologize for that.
There's your face.
My face is on the home screen for some reason. The team thought that'll get people to get excited about taxes.
So those of you who get the courage to do your taxes, just know.
They switched it to Dave's after your complaint.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an excellent move. It's tax season, and I don't know anyone who loves that unless you're an accountant. The truth is, most of us dread taxes. It's a pain, it's confusing, and if filing taxes wasn't bad enough, the tax software most people use hits you with extra fees, or worse, they try to sell you debt. But filing your taxes doesn't have to be horrible. We created Ramsey Smart Tax to give you software you can actually trust. Smart Tax has steps that are simple and clear so you know you've done your taxes right. No more headaches and second-guessing yourself, and will never tack on surprise fees or sell your info to scummy companies, and will never try to pawn you off to some debt. When you sign up for Ramsey Plus, it's even easier. You can actually file your federal taxes for free. And I'm saying this not just as trying to pitch this. I use this tax software in my house for my family, and it was fantastic. It was quick. It was simple. It was clear. It was great. Don't get taken advantage of by your tax software ever again. Start your free trial of Ramsey Plus and file your taxes for free at RamseySolutions.com/Ramsey Plus. That's RamseySolutions.com/Ramsey Plus. Let's go to Elizabeth in Philadelphia, where she was born and raised. What's up, Elizabeth?
Hi, can you hear me?
Absolutely. What's up?
Wow, I can't believe I got through.
You did. We can't believe it either. What's up?
So thank the Lord, I've been able to avoid pretty much all forms of debt up until this point. I have a teeny bit of credit card debt, but I'm in grad school on a scholarship. No student loans, no car payment. I paid my bachelor's degree out of pocket, and I just can kind of feel the stress of like, I have like $1,500 of credit card debt. I don't want that to keep rising. But at the same time, I'm in grad school on a GA scholarship, so I have to, obviously invest myself in that for my tuition to be free. And I work part-time, but I also want to apply myself well in my schoolwork. So, yeah, I just want to, think about how to proceed wisely. I just actually downloaded the Every Dollar Budget app last night, and it's even with just my bare bones expenses and what I can make, it's barely making it. So excellent. I guess I don't know if it would be worth it for me to take out a small loan for expenses, or
what are you studying, Elizabeth?
Kind of make this work. Hello?
What are you studying?
I'm getting my master's in counseling.
Very cool. All right. So I'm going to speak to you as a former counseling grad student myself. Okay. And you're not going to like my response. So you ready?
Yep.
I worked full-time as the dean of students at a law school, and I was the dad of 2 little kids and a mediocre, at best, husband, and I worked part-time for the police department in the middle of the night, running around doing victim services, crisis response. And I was a full-time PhD student. So what does that mean? That you think you're busy, but you're going to have to turn up the gas. Do love yourself enough, love your future clients enough. Do not go into debt. Okay? So here's what that looks like. That looks like I just need to decompress. What's a job? Can I deliver Uber Eats and listen to podcasts while I'm decompressing and drop food off for people and get paid handsomely for it? Can I decompress and put headphones in and deliver pizzas? Right? How can I double dip in some of these things? And I'll tell you, when I graduated, I slept for days and days and days. And during your practicum, when you're actually seeing clients, it's going to be hard to work. So I would even suggest you double up and triple up now so that you have a little bit extra income to get you through the practicum season, because that's hard because you're seeing clients and you're doing your GA work. And depending on your faculty advisor, you're going to be up to your ears in grading and all kind of making copies and whatever else they got you doing, right? So how long do you have till this thing's done?
So I'm finishing up. This is my second semester. So it's a 3-year program. And I just kind of I feel it all right, I think I can be handling this better. So I want to kind of get on top of it now. And yeah, my motto has always just been I put stuff on my credit cards and then I pay it off. But now it's I can't keep living this way. I don't want to be stressed about it all the time.
Yes, and it sounds like what you need less than a loan is you need a plan. That plan is going to give you an ability to breathe, because you're going to have a direction and not just your fallback, which is put on a credit card, which is making you sick. It's keeping you up at night.
Yeah.
Let's get a plan and something we can work towards. And so hang on the line. We're going to put you, this is our contribution to you who's going to be a future mental health practitioner in this country, which we desperately need. I'm going to give you a year of Ramsey Plus, and it's going to come with the super version, the souped up version of the Every Dollar app, plus all the Financial Peace University courses and the budgeting tools, all of it. Okay? That's our gift to you, but you got to promise you're not going to take out a loan. Okay?
I promise.
Pinky promise.
I promise.
Elizabeth, what are you doing right now for your part-time work?
Promise. I actually do billing for a nonprofit counseling center that I love with my whole heart.
What's it pay?
They take really good care of me. So I'm working 20 hours a week for them, and then I also nanny.
Wow.
just here and there. So yeah, I DoorDash some too, and I kind of cut back on that a little bit because I was feeling myself getting kind of exhausted, but at the same time, like, I'd rather be exhausted now and not be in debt. So
I love that. Yes. Yeah. Hey, plan on it. Okay. The next 2 years is going to be tough. Make no mistake. Yeah. I've walked those shoes. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard, and you're going to be exhausted. And I will tell you, being on the other side of it, graduating without any student loan debt, my first degree, my first PhD, my wife and I, we graduated a household total of 6 figures. I graduated my second PhD debt-free, and I'm going to tell you, there's a drastic difference. Because you know what I could do after graduation? Yeah. Anything I wanted to, because I didn't owe anybody anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and I thank goodness I was able to pay my bachelor's degree out of pocket from working 2 jobs.
Absolutely.
Like, so I kind of know like the struggle and then like the relief. So
there you go. All right.
Sounds like that's the thing to do.
So hang on the line here. Kelly's going to hook you up. I want you to make a plan, get a budget, get one of your grad school compadres to walk alongside you. They can watch the videos with you. Y'all can make budgets together. And I know that sounds super lame, Deloney. I'm telling you, your clients on the other end are going to be grateful that you're not coming into sessions completely stressed out because you don't know how to pay the student loan off. Or when they throw all the sessions online and you don't know how to do Zoom counseling because they've closed down, services again, that you're not going to be losing sleep because you have all these bills to pay, okay? Let's get through this thing debt-free. Not fun, George.
No.
Let's just get
This is a big thing, though, John. A lot of people, they give us grief over our advice about just graduating debt-free. And we never said it was easy. We never go, it's a piece of cake. Anyone can do it. We go, it's going to be a lot of work. You're going to be working while you're in school, which, by the way, tends to increase your GPA if you're doing it a reasonable amount, 15, 20 hours a week like she is. But it's so worth it. Because the people that call in who said, I graduated debt-free, they have options. They get to choose the job they want. They get to live where they want versus the people who call in and they go, I got $100,000 in student loan debt. I can't breathe. I have to do the job that I hate. I have to live here. Here's the stipulations because I'm chained to this debt.
I am uber compassionate about most things, but not this. I've walked that walk, right? This one's hard. And so you got to suck it up and you got to do what you got to do. And it might be your school's too expensive. It might be means I got to let this one thing go. I love this agency, but they don't pay me enough. And so I got to go do DoorDash, which doesn't sound as cool as this, but this one pays the bills. You got to make some hard choices sometimes. And you got to work and you got to work and you got to work. But again, the light on the other end of that tunnel is so good. It's so worth it.
I'm so proud of her. She's doing the budget. She just got onto it. It's going to be a game changer.
So good. Hey, we'll be right back on The Ramsey Show.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Amanda in Illinois. My fiance and I are getting married in April. We both own our own homes and plan on selling his home and living in mine. Where we disagree is the timing of when he will contribute financially to the mortgage and house bills. I think he should start contributing when he moves in. He doesn't want to contribute until he sells his home because with his child support and his mortgage, he can't afford to pay half of my bills. I'd be fine with this if he were proposing to make up the difference after the sale of the home, but he is not. He feels that I'm being mercenary to suggest that he pay me for these expenses. My other concern is that the wedding is 2 months out and he has not yet met with a realtor or made steps to put his house on the market.
So, Amanda, let's just pretend me and you were, I don't know, hanging out, and you told me this story. I would tell you unequivocally. No, let's just pretend you're my sister. My sister called with this. I would say absolutely do not get married. Stop. I would tell my fiance in this situation, I'm going to pause the wedding, and we need to go talk to somebody and see if this is really what we want to do. You are headed for a train wreck, and it's coming right at you. Oh, boy. Yeah, George, there's so many problems with this.
He could be heading to a second divorce here. Money fights and money problems, #1 cause of divorce in America, and they are about to run into a wall with their finances.
Well, just the way they're talking. This is my half, this is your half, you sell this, and I'll sell this.
It feels like a bad business deal.
And you owe, it's exactly what it is.
It's a transaction.
It's a bad transaction, and this is not two people coming together to say, two of us are becoming one of us, and we're going to do life together. And this is, you owe me and you got to pay me back. And I don't this is a recipe for disaster, Amanda. And I'm sorry that somebody in your life who loves you hasn't said, what are you doing? I'm sorry that somehow, and I've just heard about this over and over, that, you know, the train gets going, like, hey, will you marry me? Yes. And then all of a sudden it just sneaks up on us and we haven't had these hard conversations. But this is going to be a disaster. You're going to end up married with 2 homes. He's going to hang on to what that home means to him and his singleness or whatever, and then it's going to be, y'all are going to be in a mess. I recommend y'all stop the presses on everything. Doesn't mean you have to go through with stopping the presses, but I would throw a flag here, pause everything, and then go see a marriage counselor ASAP. What should happen is his house should have already been sold, or should be under contract, or should at least have a sign out in the yard. That y'all are trying to actively get rid of this thing together, and then he will move into y'all's home, and y'all will pay y'all's bills together, and the child support will become y'all's child support because y'all are going to spend money together on things that y'all have to spend money on. And there's not my bills and his bills, and he's got to pay his child support. It is our child support. It is our bills. Man.
Yeah, if we're combining our income when we're married, then it's not as much of a question of, well, he's paying his mortgage and I'm paying my mortgage and he should be contributing. It becomes, hey, we're in this middle of this weird
We have
transition,
2 house payments that we have to take care of.
and both of our incomes are going to cover that.
Right.
And how it shakes down and how we fight over, that's not going to be part of the equation.
Absolutely not. And yes, 2 months out, and he has not yet met with a realtor or made steps to put his house on the market. That tells me something else is there.
That's a flag on the play.
That's right.
I don't know much about sports, but I think that's what they say.
That was excellent.
Thank you.
That was the
Fooled you.
It didn't. Well, I just thought, I see that you wrote that down, and you've been waiting to use that.
Flag on the play.
Sports reference that will be great to insert sometime because I don't know much about him. It's going to make me sound tough and masculine.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Glenn in Los Angeles, California. What's up, Glenn?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
What
Can
up?
you hear me okay?
Yeah, doing great. What's up?
So I'm active duty Marine. I got served divorce papers December. I've got a 3-year-old child, and I'm receiving orders to go to a new school for a new job in September.
I'm sorry.
2 questions. 1, I'm not sure how to budget because my wife used to do all that. And 2, I'm not sure how to budget with because I get basic allowance for housing. I'm not sure where that fits in if I want to buy or rent a house, and how much percentage that would equate to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, so what happened? Why'd she serve you papers?
She's just said she's not happy anymore. We've been through counseling. couple times. We've been married 5 years. It'll be 6 years this May. She's just not happy. She's finally got her own career going off the ground now. She's in the Air Force as well.
Yeah.
And she just wants to go in a different direction. We're amicable. It's not like we're not having big fights or anything. It's just we work better as friends. We decided, and just to try to make it as best we can for our daughter.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry. That's even when it's amicable, it's a mess. So, especially you throw a sweet little baby girl in there, man. Things get complex, and that's a lot of heartache, man. So I'll talk about the service. The housing allowance, and then we can roll over to Georgie and walk you through the budgeting. When it comes to the service, you get with your service housing allowance, right? Do you have to use that on base, or can you take that off?
You can. That's basically. I can use it anywhere.
Okay.
It's based on the zip code the base is at that I'd be stationed at. So it fluctuates depending on where you go. But it can be used for private housing, buying a house, renting an apartment.
Will you get paid during school too?
Yeah, I'll still be getting my basic pay and stuff because it's a military school for another occupation.
Okay. So really, the housing allowance becomes income, right? You're just going to budget that as though you would add it on, right? There's not a cap, is there? Like you can't use it for 3 years and they're going to cut you off?
No. As long as I have, I'll be good with that.
I'm going to strongly recommend, having lived in multiple military cities with bases, please don't run out and buy a big house or any house in a community that you're going to live 24 months in, okay? I know that's the cool thing, and then you're like, well, I can just rent it, and I can do this. I've just seen service member after service member get themselves in trouble doing that. And then they make these special VA loans for you to just let you walk in the front door. I'd much rather see you rent long-term. That's going to be better for you. If you think you're going to stay somewhere 5, 6, 7, 10 years, which I know that's fanciful thinking if you're active duty, then you settle down and buy a house, man. But most folks get themselves into some pretty serious trouble. They can't get out of the house. It just becomes a quagmire, okay? But yeah, take that as income and dump it on top of your regular basic pay, and you're going to look at that broadly speaking. Then George will walk you through the budgets.
Yeah, Glenn, we have about a minute till we head to break here, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to gift you 1 year of Ramsey Plus. That's our online membership that will give you access to Financial Peace University, all the video courses, our Every Dollar Plus premium budgeting tool that connects to your bank account. I want you to do this. Create your first budget, and to make it easy on you, Rachel Cruz, our friend, has a course in there called Budgeting That Actually Works. So watch that one first to get a handle on budgeting, then go through all the Financial Peace University videos. But it's simple. You're going to pay attention to where your money's going. Every single dollar is going to have a job. No dollars go unemployed. All of your income minus your expenses equals zero. And we're going to cut the frivolous stuff. Are you have any debt right now?
Yeah, after this is all settled, I'll probably have about $30,000 in debt. And it's funny you said about the VA loan house. We do have a house in North Carolina that will become mine. It's currently being rented out. So
I would
want to think about selling.
I would take advantage of the market, and I would sell that house. Be clean on this deal, and take that extra money. And hey, hang on the line. Not only are we going to give you Ramsey Plus, but I'm grateful for your service, my brother. Yeah. And I'm going to give you a copy of Total Money Makeover. This is Dave's book that's going to walk you through it. I'm going to give you a copy of my new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. You got some stuff that you got to walk through, some healing, and then you got to be about what comes next, and my book's going to walk you through that. So we're going to give you all this stuff. We're grateful for your heart and for your service. Let's start today getting well. We'll talk to you soon. Today's scripture of the day is Philippians 1:9, and this is my prayer, that your love may overflow more and more with knowledge and full insight. Oliver Wendell Holmes says, a moment's insight is sometimes worth a life's experience. Let's go out to Rex in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. What's going on, Rex?
How you doing? How you doing, John and George?
Excellent. How are you?
Fantastic.
So what's up, man? How can we help?
I'm 25, an accountant, and I have $37,000 left in my baby student loans. I'm trying to do side hustles to speed up my baby step 2. So I do accounting and virtual assistance work for both of my parents' businesses, but I haven't been paid yet.
Oh, no. Did y'all have an agreement?
Yeah. No. So this is the issue. It's, how do I bring up paying me again, and how much of a discount from the market should my work be?
Oh, man. George, hop in here. So your parents needed some tax work. You're an accountant. And they said, hey, will you help out? And you said, sure, I'll help out. And you did taxes for your parents. And
it's all bookkeeping. You know, I mean, I do tax work. I was a tax accountant for a couple of years, so I know how to do taxes. Yeah. But it's all bookkeeping work. It's part consulting as well. So, I mean, from accounting to operations to social media, anything you can think of, that's what I'm involved in.
And this was all just a kind of a handshake, yeah, I'll help you out. No one agreed on pricing?
No.
Yeah, so this is the deal, man. You're not getting paid on this.
No.
My path forward here, if I'm you, would be one of two things. Mom and Dad, I did this free last year. I'm trying to pay off the remaining debt. And so I'm going to have to go get jobs that are paid jobs. I love helping you guys out. It makes my heart feel good. I love being able to take care of it. If y'all are interested in hiring me to do this work this year, I would love to stay, but I've got to go get some paying jobs. I think you're going to be it could be viewed as you lacking integrity to circle back and demand payment for something that somebody thought you were just helping out with because y'all didn't have the conversation on the front end.
We had a conversation about me being paid. I just haven't been paid yet. Like it's kind of great because
they don't even know what to pay you. You said you didn't ask for a specific number.
Yeah. So tell me about this pay conversation.
Yes. I mean, it was more a conversation of saying, hey, all right, I know that I've done this stuff for you guys in the past, but you know that I'm trying to pay off my student debt. I'm doing these baby steps. My mother actually did the Dave Ramsey way, getting out of her debt after their divorce. So she knows what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. But my dad, I do more work for him. I just told him, I said, hey, like, I need to be paid. And he just basically told me he didn't have like an answer for me when I said, hey, how much, what's your number? And I said, I would like to be paid. Can you let me know? But I'm kind of getting ghosted, and he needs things from me.
Yep.
But I don't really know when I'm going to get that number back to say, hey, like, I'm trying to work with their budget also, but I still need to figure out how much I should be charging them. So I'm like in this weird space where I don't know what my number is, and they won't tell me theirs.
All right. So let's back out here. Let's take them off the table. Okay. You can control two things on planet Earth. Your thoughts and your actions, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So just because you know what they have doesn't mean that is the appropriate amount for you to be paid, either up or down.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So you got a couple of boundary issues that you need to work through. Number one, you need to come up with a market value for Rex, right? Number two, you got to come up with pro bono Rex. I do pro bono coaching behind closed doors all over the country. People call in and I work with them. And people who are struggling with various thises and that's and a friend of a friend, that kind of thing. But I'm able to do that because Dave takes care of as well, right? And I've got other income streams. What you're going to have to decide, and is there a mom and dad rate? There's not really a good way to do that other than you just say this is mom and dad rate. And if they can't meet it, they can't meet it. You and your dad are going to get into a staring contest. And what's going to suffer is Thanksgiving. What's going to suffer is Christmas. What's going to suffer is your relationship with your dad. And I'm going to put the onus on you that you did work without a contract, without a firm number. Because if you had said, I'm going to charge $20,000 and he said deal, and he's not paying, then he's the guy that's got to look in the mirror, right? But y'all didn't do that. You said, hey, I did some stuff and I'd kind of like to be paid. He's like, well, how much? You're like, I don't know how much you got. And he's like, I don't know how much you got. man, I would chalk this one up to I learned a hard lesson, and now I got to go be about getting paid. And I wouldn't beat my parents up over it because I didn't do the hard work on the front end of setting those boundaries and setting those prices.
Yeah. This has become like a 3-2-1 draw. What's your number? What's your number? Right. We'll meet in the middle. It just doesn't work like that,
especially
when
your
it's
dad,
family.
Right?
Yeah.
So dust your hands off,
stupid tax, and we move forward and go, hey, going forward, here's what I need to charge. Otherwise, it's been fun working with y'all. I can steer you in the right direction, get you someone else who can help, but I can't do this any longer because I care about this relationship more than I do the business transaction.
And Rex, I want to give you one more piece of Deloney wisdom. Cool? It's not going to cost you anything, so it might be worth what I'm charging you for it, okay? Any moment after you hang up the phone with me and George, any moment that you spend angry about this is a choice for you to be miserable. You're choosing misery. Any second you spend on resenting your parents after this moment, after you hang up the phone, is a choice to intentionally poison yourself hoping somebody else gets sick. Mm-hmm. Okay? So at some point, I want you to find peace in your heart about this deal. You did a lot of work. You had your fingers behind your back crossed, hoping you'd get paid, and you didn't. You learned a lesson, man. And it's probably disappointing that your parents didn't circle up and be like, hey, we are so grateful for your work. We're so grateful for your Dave Ramsey journey. We're going to give you $50,000 to help you out. That would be great. And you may even be able to see in the books and know they could afford it, which makes this whole thing worse. But they didn't. They didn't. Yeah. And if they want to hire you, great. I'll even cut you a mom and dad deal, but we're going to do it with a contract. We're not going to do it with a handshake. I'm your old man. You're going to give me a contract? Absolutely. Yes, sir. I'm running a professional business. I got to keep up with my taxes, my work. And there's going to be a pushback there, but there's also going to be some respect there, some mutual respect, business to business. I'm cutting you a 50% dad deal, a 75% off dad deal, whatever it is. But we're going to do this above board. Everybody's going to be on the same page so that we all know we can all share Thanksgiving dinner with smiles on our faces. Is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I know that hurts, man. I know that hurts. Hey, and by the way, you do good work, right?
Yeah, of course.
You work hard?
Very.
Then charge what you're worth. Cool?
Yeah.
Charge what you're worth.
Man. It's tough when it's your parents. You know, I feel like in some way you kind of get into, you know, not lending your family money, but anything with a dollar sign attached to it. And it's like, this person is partially responsible for me being alive. It's really tough to ask them for money, especially when
Rex, the truth is I wouldn't work for my parents.
I wouldn't.
That's just the truth.
I wouldn't either. Or it's the same as loaning money. I'm not going to loan money to my family members. I might give them some. And so I'm not going to charge my mom and dad unless I'm a hired employee. The same way, Rachel Cruz works for Dave Ramsey, and they have an agreement as part of her contract that's written out so that everybody knows who's paying what and who's getting paid what. That's different. If I'm doing something for my parents, I'm just going to help them out and do it. I'm not gonna charge my parents like that.
We say to be unclear is to be unkind.
That's right.
So we've got to be clear. We've got to communicate. We've got to have the boundaries in place so that it doesn't cause resentment and hurt these relationships.
Yeah, think long term. Yeah. But hey, you learned a lesson. How old are you, Rex?
I am 25.
Brother, it took me till my mid-30s before I realized how much clarity helps my family relationships. Both my marriage, my parents, my brothers and sisters, everybody. So you learned this a decade ahead of me. You're way, way ahead of the game, my brother. Clarity is everything. Clarity is everything. And if you don't feel like I can charge my parents, either do the work for free or say, I don't have time to do it this time. That's hard, George.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, just boundaries in general. We've taken a lot of calls this week where it's just people didn't put clear enough boundaries up, and then there's resentment, and then it hurts the relationship, and it always points back to you when you have to go, that's on me. I didn't set up the boundaries.
And so next time, I'm going to be good about boundaries. Well, that wraps up today's show. I want to thank James and Ben and Kelly, even Zach. Thank you all for a great show. George, you're getting there, man.
Thank you.
You did a good job.
Real hard.
You're trying real hard. I'm John Deloney. In America, we're so grateful that you joined us. Be kind to one another. Be kind. Turn the devices off and go play. We'll see you soon. Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.